Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Jessie.
And I'm Nina. Today we're reacting to a video that says this was last Saturday at the California Democratic Party convention in San Francisco. What could have gone wrong? Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we?
The Democratic Party
Yeah.
convention?
In San Francisco, no less. You know how that's going to go.
Naked.
Not very good.
I expect naked people.
Just expect penises galore. Ew.
That's what I expect. You asked me. I answered.
Okay, here we are. Here we go.
She looks terrifying.
What's that? I said, hi, Turks. I'm going to stand next to you. Great. What age do you think a girl's mature enough to have custody? I think that's a decision for herself, her providers, and her parents. How did you feel about your body changing as you were going through treatment? I have lots of different feelings about it, but you know what? I'm still going to over here and stand. I'm not going to supply to you. Okay. Next to you to counter or hatred. Do you think it's hatred to tell girls that they could be healthy and whole? So, Kaiser Permanente told my daughter that she should go on puberty blockers and hormones when she was 13. And I told my daughter that's not possible, that you'll never become a man. And she grew up to be a healthy whole woman. She's 20 years old now. Do you know any transgender children? I do. Yeah? Do you have a transgender child? I do. And how did they know they were transgender? Because that's something a person knows inside them. Yeah? At what age did you know that you were a cis woman? At what age? That's something I really thought about. Oh, and why did your child think they're transgender? Lady, I'm not going to answer your questions anymore. I'm just going to stand here silently next to you, okay? We're done. Oh, sure. Does your child go to a public school in California? Did they learn there could be 13 gender identities?
I'm going to...
My daughter learned...
I just want to say thank you again. Can I give you a hug? Thank you for doing that.
Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug?
No, you can't.
Why can't the gay boys grow up to be gay men? It's not hatred. You guys, it's not hatred to tell a child that they can grow up to be healthy and whole. A girl top surgery. Kaiser Permanente charges only $100 copay, and the surgeon makes $25,000. I was approved for a phalloplasty with 2 appointments over Zoom. My doctor told me I could have a fake penis that would allow me to either pee standing up or to have penetrative sex, but not both. Do you think your transgender child might one day have top surgery and a phalloplasty? Is that something you would allow them to have? You know, they make a phalloplasty out of the skin tissue on your thigh or your forearm. It's like a skin sausage. It's a fake penis. $130,000.
A skin sausage? I've never heard anyone refer to it as a skin sausage.
I understand her points. I'm going to stand by what I said. She looks unhinged because she's kind of unhinged. It takes a different breed of person to go out on the streets and start conflict like that.
It's not even going out into the streets. It's going right into the lion's den.
It's also dangerous being a woman going up to a bunch of people and saying this kind of thing. It's one thing to say it online or to say it when you have a time to speak at a public forum, but you're going up and saying it. I will, for once in my life, give props to the liberal here because she honestly didn't do a bad job. She didn't fight. She didn't scream. And when she said she was going to shut up, she shut up. Mm-hmm. So I'm not defending her takes. I'm simply defending her actions and response. You don't see it often with liberals, so I want to commend the good stuff.
I don't understand why people waste their time with these very far leftist individuals. I mean, it's not going to change their mind. It's not going to do any of that. You're just not only wasting your time, but you're putting yourself in danger because these people are obviously unhinged. You don't know how dangerous they are. I just think it's ridiculous and stupid to do that.
And I agree with the lady with the white shirt on that, like, these things are not okay, and we shouldn't be condoning them, and we shouldn't be giving double mastectomies to minors, especially. I mean, obviously, we're an exception if they have breast cancer at that age, then obviously, but that's because they have cancer.
Yeah.
But if it's a healthy young adult, young child, someone who's a minor, there should be no reason to cut off their bits without getting to the full age of 18.
Yeah, I think that parents that allow their children who are minors to go through this transition stuff just because they say so, they're not protective parents, and I think they're incredibly dangerous people. if we're being honest. Also, this whole thing reminds me of like a commune of people. They're also loving.
You know what it reminds me of?
So loving.
Reminds me of a Comic-Con. Everyone looks like they're dressed up in a costume or something.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like a commune because they're all kind of crazy. They all have the same ideology. They all pretend to be loving when really they're all just kind of dangerous people. But also, if you don't follow their ideology, they'll shun you from the group, and I just don't see it as a very healthy mentality. Like this group of people, they're just all freaking nuts, I think.
Yes.
Nuts.
Yes. And to counter that point, the lady is not doing us any justice by antagonizing this one woman who is being relatively docile.
Yeah, just let them.
Am I
mean,
wrong?
there's nothing you can do to protect these children aside from changing laws, which you have. You don't go into the lion's den here to change laws
Because they clearly don't want to change those laws.
right. And arguing with them is not going to make any difference because they're completely deranged anyway. Nothing's going to change that.
So
They're going to
you're
die
only-
deranged.
You're only making Republicans look crazier to people on the left.
Yeah,
And more pesters. Like when they say that, remember how you said Christians used to bug you about how you were going to burn in hell for your own choices?
Yeah.
In life, regardless. And like, I know being gay is not a choice, but you choose to act on your gay impulses in their head, right?
Yeah.
So just as we ask the Christians to leave us alone, they're going to ask you to leave them alone. I'm not saying don't voice your opinion. Definitely voice your opinion. But to go in and just keep pestering for 2 minutes straight to keep pestering the same lady who, like I said, was just standing there, was just going to stand there silently. She answered your questions. She was really respectful about it. It almost seemed staged because she was so respectful. I almost didn't buy it.
Yeah. I just don't see this as a very productive way to spend your time or energy.
No, and like I said, you're only adding fuel, unfortunately, to the leftist claims that we're so intolerant.
Well, I mean, they're going to think that anyway because they're crazy.
Yeah,
they're
but you don't have to go in there and act intolerant.
That's true. She wasn't really acting intolerant. She was more wasting.
sorry.
It's wasting her time.
Yeah, and
It's
she's
a
also
waste.
making our side look bad to their side.
Well, I don't give a shit what they think about what people who live in
and
reality
I'm
think.
sure they say the same thing, and then we get the crazy ones. I'm just saying, dial it down, speak on your soapbox, but you don't have to get, like, she's on this lady for 2 minutes straight. If someone did that to you, how would you react?
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, and you'd probably be running away, getting your fists all balled up because you're getting tense now, right? After 2 minutes, 2.5
yeah.
minutes almost. Mm-hmm. And it's also technically your stomping ground because it's your rally. I'm just saying, she kind of has every right to be a little irritated, and she's handling it pretty well. I don't agree with her viewpoints. I don't think kids should be allowed to transition. I don't agree that it should be left up to the doctor and the parents. I think that you should wait until they're 18 because that's when they get to do everything else. And if that's when they want to do it, that's when they can do it. But I still think they should have therapy required for at least a year before they do it. That's my take.
As an outsider, I don't think you should walk into the Heaven's Gate cult and start talking to them about how their beliefs are crazy because
aliens aren't real.
they're not going to believe you. They're not going to change their mind. They're just going to, I don't know, eventually become violent.
That's what I'm saying. She's really taking a big risk here.
I think it's a waste of time.
She must be she must have a channel or something. She must be trying to get views.
Maybe.
I can only imagine that's why you'd put yourself out there.
Maybe,
It's
yeah.
not like you're going to a protest. Like a protest makes more sense because you're observing and you're like debating what they're protesting.
Right, that's different.
This is just them talking about what their goals are for the year, right?
I don't know. I've never been to one, never do want to be at one. I'm assuming they're going to do a whole bunch of land acknowledgement, crazy stuff, a bunch of virtue signaling.
I mean, hypothetically,
I don't think they're really going to be talking about much that has any weight to it.
But hypothetically, they're talking about the things that matter on their side.
Yeah.
So you're not really changing any minds by going in there.
No.
Not even a little.
Not even a smidge.
If anything, you're reinforcing their beliefs that all Republicans are like you. And
Well, she might not even be a Republican.
all Republicans agree with what you said about the penis stuff and the phalloplasty and everything. And they do agree. But that doesn't mean that you are representing currently all Republicans. There's a lot of Republicans that could have a civilized conversation in that room.
I don't think normal people would have a civilized conversation
I didn't
in
say
that
the
room.
liberals were capable. I said the Republicans. There are many Republicans that are capable of still maintaining like decorum.
Yeah, I agree with
I don't
that.
think it's like polite to follow someone around for 2.5 minutes, even if you disagree with them. I think when they end when they say that they're done, that's when they're done. That's just respect.
Yeah. Well, we only have a few more seconds here, so.
I'm gonna hunt you down and fucking kill you. Wait, you can't say that. You can't tell somebody you're gonna kill them.
No.
You can't say that.
You can't, no. No. We already know these people
It
are,
doesn't seem real. I'm sorry.
we already know these people are crazy. You don't want to follow them around after that. You know, just stop right
Like I
now.
said,
Thank you very much.
Where would you be at if she was following you? It's been 2 minutes. It's been 2 minutes and 40 seconds. If someone was antagonizing you that long, what would you do? I know you. You would say something similar and walk away like this lady did. You probably wouldn't say it. But
Yeah.
you'd at least think it and walk
Oh,
away.
1,000,000%
So
would be thinking
can you
it.
blame her for like verbalizing her thought and leaving? I can't. I'm not saying she's in the right, but I mean, I'd be pissed.
I think both people are in the wrong for different reasons.
Yeah, she doesn't believe the same things we believe, which is her right as an American citizen. That doesn't mean I want her laws to pass. I'm just saying it's her right as an American citizen. The other one is actively antagonizing and almost begging to get hit.
And some people would say that
If that was two men-
I mean, they do it to us, so we're doing it to them.
Yeah, but if that was two men, you know they'd be hitting each other at the end of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because it's women, she's walking away. But if it was two men, he'd have meant that and decked him in the face.
Probably.
But I almost don't buy it. I don't buy it's real. I don't know.
You don't buy it's real? Well,
I trust it is. But it just seems so unreal. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of crazy. The people that she's interacting with, they don't debate people who live in reality because they don't have the smarts or the knowledge to back up what they believe because they've never been pressed on their beliefs about the transgenderism thing. So the only thing they have to do is either scream, get mad, or get violent.
Okay.
You know?
Yes. Now, when the college debates came up, because that was big with Charlie Kirk, and they still are pretty big, right?
Yeah.
When that happens, this kind of behavior is understandable. That's someone willingly debating you. This woman was not here to willingly debate you. So when you go somewhere, and I'm not trying to say that she's not saying the right things. She's saying the stuff that I agree with. However, but when you go to someone else's party where you know they have differing beliefs, and you start talking like this and you don't expect some kind of violence in response, it's kind of wild, especially in this day and age. It's just not the smartest. And I'm sure that it got you some attention, and I'm sure it was like you talked about the points that matter, but it's just the wrong spot. So to sit there and say that this woman was unprepared to defend her side, yes, because she wasn't prepared to have a debate at the Democratic Party convention, you know?
Well, I truly believe that if you have a belief in something, then if you truly believe in it, you should be able to defend it to the death. You should be able to have every single talking point available to you to be able to defend it because you believe in it, right?
But you realize that these are just regular people and not politicians. And they're not also
They're
people.
activists.
They are, but oh my gosh, so many of these people. It's just because her kid feels this way. So now you're here because you want the attention. Debating someone who wants attention is never going to work. It's just going to end in negative ways.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have an open dialogue, but with people who want to have an open
Who are
dialogue,
willing to have
these
the open
people don't
dialogue.
want to.
You're not going to change the minds of these people. You have to reach the people whose minds are willing to be changed. That's why the debate is such a good forum to see these days. It's great to see that people are taking off in debate because these aren't yes/no questions necessarily. These are moral questions that we have to decide as a society in a lot of cases, right? So having this debate platform is a really good thing, but I think to a certain degree, people are constantly looking for the debate. And if you do that in life, you're asking for confrontation.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not bad to do in a circle where you know that you're safe, but you're not in a safe circle when you put yourself, like you said, in the lion's den.
yeah, because everybody in there, except for her, I'm assuming, they all have the same crazy belief system.
Yeah, what if you
know?
what if you had a couple trans women hearing you and they decided that they were not doing it? Or what if you had some trans men who have been on testosterone hear you and decide that they're going to hit you. It's still possible.
Well, it depends on the size of the trans man. I mean, most of these
still have
women
a
who say
risk.
they're men, most of them are small.
You still have a risk.
I mean, if they're carrying, then yeah.
Anything. You could get punched really hard and hit a corner and die. You still have a risk of injury.
Yeah, depending on the size of the...
I'm not saying that it's even going to be
man.
that. You could also have like any type of violence, and you're going to sit there and still. I don't know. I don't agree with how she did it. I agree with the points she was trying to make, but I don't agree with how she did it.
Maybe she should know her enemy just a little bit better to know that, doing this is just not wise for a myriad of reasons.
Do you think
one of them being, putting yourself in danger, another one being like, what's the point of this? You're not going to change anyone's mind.
Do you think the Democrat protester was in the wrong for saying what she said at the end?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously, especially coming as a Democrat, you're not allowed to say those things, right?
I mean, if you're a Democrat and most Democrats preach about inclusion and love and all in safe spaces, I mean, you're kind of doing a disservice to your own group by preaching hate at the end of the video. You're not supposed to be rattled by people who are just asking you questions, even though they're getting in your space. You should be, if you act like you're the moral authority and you have the moral high ground, stooping to a lower level is just proving the point of people on the right that you guys are just unhinged crazies who pretend to be good, but really you're not.
I agree with what you said earlier. Both of these things are bad. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this lady was in the right at all, but I also don't think that the liberals correct either. So,
Right, yeah.
So it's hard. I don't agree with what she said at the end, but I don't disagree with the fact that she was clearly antagonized. No?
She was antagonized. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't waste
I
your
don't
time.
think it was an unprompted threat. I think that after being bugged for almost 3 minutes, she was like, get wrecked, It would have been better if she said get wrecked.
Yeah, or like F off or whatever.
You could
saying
say,
I'm gonna end
hunt you
is-
down and end your life.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just kind of proved her point. The lady who was questioning her, you proved her point that you people are deranged maniacs who pretend to be good, but really deep down you're vile and violent.
Well,
So, yeah.
you're not as harmless as you say you are, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're harmless. In fact, my whole point is that you could have gotten harmed
Because they
doing
are.
this. They
A
can
lot
be.
of the time, they
People-
can be quite violent.
People
yeah.
in general, there's been a history of conservatives or Republicans being violent. There's been a history of Democrats or liberals being violent. And so just like try to avoid the violent ones. That's kind of my point. Do it in a safe area. And I'm not saying safe spaces. I'm saying do it in a place where debate is accepted and where I mean, just to go back to it, look at what happened to Charlie Kirk. We all thought that was the safest way to do it. And some deranged person decided to step in there. Mm-hmm. And how long had that been going? How long had he been doing that? And how big had it gotten? And it's still got to that level. And it's sad. And that's why I do want to say, I just want people to be safe when debating, especially since there's so many people who have no attention given to their mental health.
Yeah. Personally, I think debate can be quite the waste of time. And it can also put yourself in a dangerous place, depending on who you're debating.
I think that
I don't
depending on
know.
the person, there's some people who's a waste of time to debate.
Yeah.
But I think that overall, when debate is used correctly, it's only beneficial for the society as a whole.
Yeah,
Understand.
but you have to make sure that the person
Used
you're
correctly.
debating is coming from a good place. And they have the same rules
Good faith.
of debate that you do. Yeah, most of the time that's not the case.
That's why the Charlie Kirk debates were such a big deal. He always came with some bit of good faith. He never antagonized or aimed at people. He always tried.
No, I thought I agreed with his debates at college campuses, but then again, I didn't, because a lot of the time these college students didn't come at it with good faith, but also they'd be like, why are you coming to a college to debate kids? And it's like, but you're not kids, you're not minors, you're adults.
Yeah, but that's not
You were
the-
just been babied your whole freaking life by the education system to think that you're constantly victims, that when someone who has actually good points to make, who can actually debate you and wipe the floor with any opinion you have, it's like, oh, I'm a victim. And it's like, but no, you're not. You're in college. You just think you're a victim because you've been freaking babied.
I think the
And
exact thing you're
just can
talking about
continue to be babied into adulthood.
I think the exact thing you're talking about is the point that you're making about some of them being a waste of time.
Yeah.
I think those specifically, the funny ones, the dumb ones that we used to laugh at,
Yeah.
those ones are the waste of times. That can only at the best bring amusement, right?
Yeah.
However, I think there's a lot of people who had a chance to listen to two sides of a debate online that weren't necessarily participating in it, but got a chance to hear how their peers thought and also how someone else thought, and they got a chance to make their own informed decision based on two people debating it. I think that's the overall good that came from that entire.
You mean like outsiders watching the debate and forming their own opinion based on what they're
And then
seeing?
continuing to go on and debate because they, even if they don't agree with what Charlie Kirk was saying, they agree with the moral principle of coming to a middle ground with something like debate to understand both sides.
Yeah.
But I do think what you were referring to just then was exactly the thing that you were saying was a waste of time. That there are people who are going to attempt to debate that are wasting your time. It's just like she was wasting her time trying to debate someone who didn't want to debate her.
Yeah.
That's never going to work for the benefit. That's a waste of time. However, if she was like, why don't we talk about why you think it was so bad for my kid to transition? You know, if they were to come, I think it was good for this reason. Well, I think it was bad for this reason. Then you can at least figure out what everyone's thinking. And, oh, I disagree with that because of this. Well, can you at least understand this? And that's how a debate works. Just like a productive relationship. When you start fighting in a relationship, does it work when you start saying, no, I want this. No, I want this? Or does it work when you listen to what your partner has to say and come from that middle ground? Debate is secretly a really good tool because debate is also active listening. You're listening to what they say so that you can give an informed response back, but also think if that's what you agree with still.
Yeah.
This was not the time to debate. We had a debate about if debate was good.
Not a good time to debate. No. I'm also the type of person who I don't like debating. I will never debate. I find it absolutely pointless for me to
We
debate.
just had a debate. But would you say that you're not a master debater?
I'm definitely not.
You don't master debate.
I don't master debate nothing. Like and subscribe, everyone. Join our memberships to keep this channel going. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Comment if you like my dad jokes. I'll work on them.